All right, so so what we did last time was general introduction to data analytics, right? Now, why I went that way is for us to have the mindset of a data analyst before we look at the program. I think the next topic I said we'll start with. I've already mentioned the data analytics softwares, right? And the ones we offer here, right? Okay, so because of, let's look at general introduction to Excel. So we are starting from the basic of Excel. Like I told us, this aspect is what we ought to have learned for coming here. Okay, now I don't know, guys suspecting that there's no data. Say, if you can help me recharge 500 naira or that, you'll give you. His phone is at home. There's data then. Wait, hold on. Maybe that is. There's data there, even itself. Not. Nothing is showing internet access. I mean, there's data. But a guy could not log in or to access internet. This is. General introduction to Microsoft Excel. So we'll start with the definition. What is Microsoft Excel? So Microsoft Excel is an office application software which is used for computation and calculation of data. It is an office application software which is used for computation and calculation of data. So outside that, Excel is used for managing data or records. It is that capability aspect that makes it suitable for data analysis because it has a library called spreadsheets that help us to hold data, and that also offers us a library where we can access what functions. Exactly. So that definition have defined the main function of Excel for handling what? Data. And like I said, one of the reasons why is recommended for us as data analysts because of its capability of what? Holding what? Large data set for us to analyze. So just to add to it, Excel has an inbuilt function system. So there are a lot of functions that are already built in Excel. We can refer to the collection of those functions as the library. So in this case now, Excel library, in other words, where functions are stored, is referred to as the spreadsheets. So each time you hear the word spreadsheets in Excel, it's describing two things. It's describing the framework that holds data for you to analyze, and also describing the library where functions can be what? Accessed. Are you with me? All right. Now, let's look at how to access it on our system. Once you have installed it, Excel is not a default program that comes with your Windows installation. Once you have installed your Microsoft Windows, you have to install it as part of Microsoft Office suite or collection. That is, once you install Office program, it comes with Word, it comes with Excel, and then it comes with PowerPoint and the rest of them. Now, pay attention. How do we open it? there are several ways you can open a cell. The first method is using an icon representation. This is the user interface of the system, which is like the gates you must pass through before you can explore any computer resources. And the computer resources compasses the applications you have inside, the file you store inside. So Microsoft Excel is part of it. So before you can access any of the computer resources, you must first of all load the window to this user interface. So from here, there could be an icon just like this now. So I'm the one that program it. So by default, after installation, it doesn't show here. So it is the user that will program it as a shortcut that will always give them access to it instead of them going through the start button where they have to explore the program manager before they can reach to where a cell is. So instead of going through this long process where I have to click on the start button, then locate letter E, where I can have a cell listed, I can simply create an icon to represent it. So I'm going to delete that icon. So I'll show you how you can program it because it's a shortcut that makes your work faster. So just right click on an empty space where there is no icon occupying. Remember I said there are several ways of accessing a cell, but I'm focusing on the two basic methods. And the method I'm showing you right now is using the user interface shortcuts. So, and I'm starting with how do we create that icon that will now be representing a cell on this user interface. I said number one step, right click on an empty interface. So from there, navigate to new. So from new, you see a drop down of item. Scroll down to where you have Microsoft Excel worksheets. Are you following? So once I click on it, then automatically it will prompt you the icon on the user interface, which means that next time you want to access Microsoft Excel, you now have a representative that you can just come and either double click or you right click on that icon and select open. And that will automatically take us to the working environment of Excel. But being a shortcut is going to take us straight to the blank interface with the expectation that we want to start collecting our data from the scratch. So that is the implication of accessing it through the shortcut. You can see it now. All right. So now, but it is not professional for you to depend on this particular method, because at times it can fail you. You might forget, you might be given a system where the icon has not been programmed here. And you may end up saying that because you cannot find it, a cell is not in that system. If it's an interview, you have failed. So it is not enough for you to say because you can't find a cell icon here, therefore a cell does not exist. Until you go through the standard way of accessing it, which is going to be my second method. So this method is using an icon on the user interface if it has been created. Now, the second method, which is the standard way of accessing a cell, is by going to the start button. You click on the start button. So once you click on the start button, you see all these programs you are seeing here. You are seeing them here because they were recently used. So you don't also depend on this place. You expand this option, all app, so that it can take you to the list of all the programs that are installed in the system, which have been sorted alphabetically. So if I'm looking for a cell, I should go to a section that mentions E. But you know that even this is a long process. Just click on the search, which is like augmenting that option. It's still the same option. Click on the search bar here, the search box here, and type E. Once you type E, if it does not bring it, then add X to it. But just entering A, I have been able to what? To see it. So I'll click on it. Now, I want you to see the way it's going to open now. It's going to open different from the other one. You see what happened? The other one took us to this environment because it's a shortcut. Shortcut will always cost you something. So that shortcut that we follow cut us off from accessing all these important things that I can exploit. It's an advantage of me studying some things that Excel have done, which I can emulate. So part of the things we are expected to learn with Excel as data analysts is to build automated system that can analyze data for a company without us being there physically. So that is one example they have shown you here. Now, this is monthly budget, what? A system that Excel built, trying to tell you that if you learn Excel very well, you can build this system whereby you can analyze income. You can analyze what? Personal what? Expenses. You can analyze what? Operating what? Expenses. Once you impute your record. So how do I have access to this? So now the reason why I came here could be because maybe I want to steal some things from Excel. I am asked in my office to prepare what? A monthly budget. And I don't even know the format. I don't know the headers that are involved. I don't know that I need what? Income as one of the headers to register all the what? The type of account. Or I need this estimated. Or I need actual. Or I need this. So coming here now will give me an idea. Okay, now I will now ask for my blank sheet and start emulating. So that's the benefit of you accessing Excel through the what? The program what? Manager. So that you can exploit those templates if there is any need for you to exploit them. So now, what I have said so far now is for you to know that if you are going through this method, there are other templates. Look at it here. These are other templates. And most of these things that I'm saying here now, it is because I am connected to the internet. If you are not on the internet, you may not see as much as I am seeing here. But you will definitely what? See 2 or 3 of them. So I don't want to take my time here. What you do now, you are aware. Go there on your own and be opening them one after the other and know whether there might be some important things that you will need tomorrow when you are asked to develop any system in your office. Whether there is one you can easily what? Copy or not. Now, but because we are learning Excel and we want to start from how to use Excel to collect data sets so that after this class now, like we are doing in Python now, if I call in already made data set, you have an idea on how that data was developed. So we are starting from what? A blank sheet. So instead of clicking on any of this already made, you click on blank what? Workbook, which means that you are asking for a total what? Empty what? Spreadsheet. For you to ask for this, it means that you have skills on how to what? To collect your data from what? Scratch. So finally, we have what? Gotten to what? Excel environment. So that step that I said, how to access Excel, I've achieved it. Either through the what? The user shortcut or through the what? The program manager. The next topic is Excel interface study or familiarization. That is the next topic. Excel window familiarization. We want to familiar ourselves with the environment. Because at this point, it is assumed that this is a strange environment. We have not been to this city. We have not been to this village. And the standard is that when you are taken to a place you have not been to, you don't start doing things immediately. You take time to observe how they are doing things so that your leg can be strong. So it will be wrong for me to start creating data now when I have not broken down this what environment. What is this? What is this? What is this? So that when we are working here, you have certain what? Confidence. You know what and what this session is responsible for, what this is what? Responsible for. And that is what bettered that topic, which is what? Microsoft Excel what? Windows familiarization. So right, every application software will always give you an interface to work with it. WhatsApp gives you what? User interface, right? Yeah. That enable you to click on message tab and send message. Once it is called an application, it is expected that what the user is given what? An environment to communicate with that app. So if we are asked right now, this environment we are now, how can we attribute it? This is what Microsoft what Excel window. What is window in computing generally? Because sometimes when these terms are used, you think that it's window here like this. But I will tell you that it has a link. The reason why Microsoft gave it window, it has a connection to this. What is this window doing now? If I ask you, what is this window doing now?
To enable us to see outside.
To see outside. To enable light to come in. You are distracting me.
I want to get my glasses.
What you want to eat. So, you know, this is, look at it here. The whole of this now is Microsoft window, right? Do you know that this computer have 3 layers? But you as a user, you're only seeing 1 layer. And this layer you're seeing is a front layer, just like a website. They have back end and front end. There is a background, and we are shielded from that background. So the same thing, when you open this application now, it means that what? There is window at the back. So what I'm saying is that this is a window. A window is any portion of an application you are seeing or occupying the screen at that moment. So right now, this is Microsoft Excel what? Window. The once I switch from here now, the description change. This is now what? Microsoft what? Window. If I open Microsoft, if I open Mozilla Firefox now, it becomes what? Firefox what? Window. So any app that you open on the screen, its own environment is called what? Window. Okay, sir. What's the difference between this window and the desktop? Good. The difference between is that this is an application window, while this one is what? An operating system window. So if you have done basic computer training, you know what I'm doing right now, What I'm doing right now is basic. And what I'm doing right now is not what I'm supposed to be teaching you in this class. You are supposed to start from what? Advanced Excel. So I don't want to talk more about if I am introducing you to the computer for the very first time. It's not Excel I will start with. I will start with general intro, where I will explain the mouse, the keyboard, and how they are related. I will now advance you to Windows, where you now start learning how to create folder, how to change the background, how to do all those things. Then before we go to Word. Then before we come to Excel. But this is what concerns us. That is why I'm going straight. So we want to study this environment because it's strange to some of us. So I started by saying that every window will always give you an environment. The essence of that environment is for you to be able to communicate to the app and for the app to communicate back to you. So, but we need to study it. So, right, therefore, Microsoft Excel window is broken into sections. Therefore, Microsoft Excel window is broken into sections. Brian, hope you are with us. So therefore, Microsoft Excel window is what? Is broken into different sections. Now, these sections are recognized as features. So in other words, you now bring out another topic, tag it what? Microsoft Excel window features or components, because we want to start identifying them one after the other. So what are these features? Quickly, the whole of this part I'm navigating at, starting from this, is called the application title bar. Now, the application title bar is responsible for displaying the following information to users. In other words, what and what can a user access on that section? 1, the user can access the name of his or her record, because Excel is not for managing documents. Excel is for managing what? Records. So currently, what is the name of our record? Is book 2. Is book 2. The reason why you are seeing book 2, because you went through the normal channel. If I click on icon now, you are going to see what? You're going to see book 2.
What are you seeing? New what? Microsoft Word. Once you are seeing this as the default description, it means you are using shortcuts. But if you follow through the process, you are going to see what? Book 2. Yes, because that is the first time I have 2 of them open. This second time I'm what? Launching it through the what? The normal process. Now, why is it tag book 2? If you open Microsoft Word now, it will be what? Document 1. If you open PowerPoint, what? Presentation 1. Because it's capturing the fundamental function of this app. Excel is for keeping record. Please, in accounting, in your office, if you are a receptionist, what do you use to capture your record? Is it not books? So this has eliminated us buying what? A notebook. So this is an electronic what? Book. That is why it's called what? Book. Because it's for keeping records. But we are not expected to save our record with that default name, book 2. Because book 2 does not describe the type of data set I'm collecting. If, for example, like we are going to do, if the time permits us today, we want to develop a system for a supermarket that can help them to track their daily sales, that can track the name of the customer, track the ID, track the date of transaction. So this is going to be named as what? Sales inventory book, not book 2. So how do I change it? Go to what? File, then select what? Save as. Then choose your storage, let's say desktop. And then after that, you specify the name to what? Let's say what? Sales what? Inventory. So you can attach the year. Let's say what? Maybe the month. Let's say what? May, whatever. Let me just put what? May there. You may want to password it so that when next anybody want to open this book, it should be asked for password, which is very necessary. If not, in your office, you can be duplicated. Somebody can delete 5,000 and put what? Can remove 1 0 from 5,000, become what? 500. And when you are balancing your account now, there's argument everywhere. Somebody just killed it because he's in that office. When you cannot prove it, then they sack you. When they sack you, it's happy. So you password it. So how do you password it? You go to that place where you can see you are saving as what? Excel workbook. Now you come to where you have, normally if you want to save without adding a password, you just, after adding your name, you click on what? Save. But because you want to add your password, you suspend this first. Go to tools, then select what? General what? Option. So that will give you a test box to impute what? The password. So the password can be a combination of letter. It can even be a single letter. But make sure your password is what? Strong. A word that people cannot easily what? Capture. Now we can encrypt this particular file in a way that it will be read-only rendered, which means that what? If I activate this option here, read-only, while I am doing this, if I add this, it means that when I am done with this file, and as a boss, you ask me to forward you my sales through an email, you cannot edit anything. You can only what? See it. But if I did not check this option, it means that when it gets to you, you can what? Modify. So now you click on what? Okay. It will ask you just for confirmation purpose. Keep typing what? The same password. Once it's taken, then click on what? Save to finalize it. So in case you want to know whether we actually assign a password, I will advise you not to use complex password because when you forget about the document too. The only way we can remove it is to consult a professional engineer that have a software called what? Password recovery. And that is the only way. If not, you forget about the file. So it's not advisable you use complicated password. Now, we want to open the file again just to confirm if what? I want to confirm. Each time you password, please test so that you not go home and lie down and be sleeping thinking that meanwhile the password was not even admitted. So once you assign that, close the file again and try opening it and let's see whether I'm going to ask for the password. Now look up. So I want to open it again. You're going to ask me for password. So now I will type what? 1. 1 again. Finally, I am here. So you should know how to password your workbook. Are we together? Now, the moment I update the name, what happened? This is what I'm looking for. This place that was showing book 2 have changed. So in other words, I just show you now how you can update that book 2 to your own what?
Name that describe the kind of file or record that sheet is holding.
So we are still explaining the word, the title bar, right? So in the title bar, you can see what? The name of your what? Record. Now, you can also see the name of the application. What are we seeing here right now? Excel, right? And then we can also see these control buttons. So these buttons are very important. A user of this app should know how they works. All these buttons. So let me quickly run through them. I am starting with this. I don't want to waste my time with signing. Signing is what? When you have an account with what? Microsoft. You know, there is online version of Office where if you don't want to install it, you can work directly from the internet. But make sure that what? You are on the internet and you register an account with Gmail or any of what? Other FTP app account. So my focus now will be on what? These 4 of them. So what is this? This is called what? Ribbon display. What are ribbons? It's just grammar. What are ribbons? Look up. Ribbons are this. File, home, insert. They are called what? They are called what? Ribbon. Now, look at this here. The function of this button is to control this that I've just identified as what? Ribbon. So you can turn them off and turn them on through this icon. Now, let's come here. Right now, they are on what? Show tabs and what? Command. Are you with me? Now, what are tabs? Tabs are what? Individual. Home is a tab. The collection of file, home, down to what? Help. They are called what? Ribbon. Then when you are addressing them individually, you become what? Tabs. Now, what you have under each of them, because as I move from this home tab to insert tab, what is happening? The content are changing, right? Good. What comes out when you select any of them? They are called what? The tabs what? Command. That is why when you click here now, there are 2 things this button is controlling, both the tab and the command. Now, if I select hide now, they disappear. Your hand can mistakenly touch this when you are working. If nobody have explained this to you, you carry your system and go to Kowe. And those guys, when they want to collect something from you, they will say, Oga, we have to reinstall. The funny part of it, they are not trained to manage it. They are only trained how to install it. So they will tell you that we need to uninstall it and reinstall it. It is only those that knows how to use it that will know that, no, this is not installation issue. This is what view issue. So they will just come here and then they will say, okay, I want to see only the tab. You can see it now. Only the tab, no command. Now, if I type now, for example, and I want to increase the size of this, I need to expand what? Home. So from home, I will now what? Begin to increase it. But the moment I step out, they will collapse back. Because when I was activating it, I said, well, show only what? Tabs. But if I want them to be there, whether I have stepped out from that last function, then I have to activate that one that say what? Show tabs and what? Command. Exactly. So that's the work of what? Ribbon display. Now, this one is called minimize. In computing, the word minimize is a grammar. That means what? Take off the what? The correct window at the moment. You have not closed it. Just remove it from the screen. Why? Because I want to see another window. The moment I minimize, what am I seeing now? I switch from Excel to what? Microsoft what? Window. Maybe I just want to come temporarily. It's not as if I'm done with what I'm doing in Excel. I just want to come and move this here. After everything, then you need to know that this last session is called the taskbar. All the tasks that are currently running, they can be accessed here. So I will now know that, okay, Excel icon is here. So I'll just click here then to resume it back. So this is how to minimize, and this is how to what? To restore it. The next one is restore stroke what? Maximize. 2 things there. When you click first, you can tell us the difference. This one only reduce, but the practical application is that it allows me to see 2 interfaces or to view what? Multiple what? Windows. Right now, I am viewing part of what? Microsoft window. At the same time, view what? Part of what? Excel. If I'm working, maybe I have a music interface. What is inspiring me while I'm working? I want to be seeing it by side with what I'm working with. So I have to what? I have to what? Restore. If you click on that same place that restore, it what? Maximize. So restore is to allow you to view multiple what? Windows. While maximize is to allow you to view what? Only one. Now, this is what? Danger. Which means that what? If you click here, if you have not saved whatever you must have computed, forget about it. Because in computing, we have ROM, permanent storage, read-only memory, and what? RAM, random access memory, with a volatile storage. Why the ROM is what? Non-volatile storage. Are you getting it? Good. So before you quit, always commit them to what? To non-what? Volatile. Which is what? Control S, that you always what? Press. Now, that brings us to the end of what? The first session, which is what? Application title bar. The next session is this place. This is where application title bar start from, where you have this. Sorry, yes, this is where it starts from. It does not include this session. This session is called standard toolbar. What is the role of the standard toolbar? The standard toolbar allows you to program shortcuts that makes your work faster. Shortcuts. Are you with me? It allows you to program shortcut. You can see that you are not seeing some shortcut here because you have not developed. Me, I've added more. Now, by default, you can see what you have there. Now, you only have one for save, right? Now, let me look up. Let me turn them off. Watch now. I am removing them. So that you know that you can build it. You can build it. Now, let me go to where I added others. I'll select them and show you how to develop it by yourself. Because there is a criteria. So you can have it like this. This one must be there. Now, what you see on that standard toolbar, they are assumed constant use functions. Functions you use often. So what you do is that you program them there. For example, now there's no way you work here that you not save, right? So you program that save icon as a shortcut. Because ordinarily, if it's not here, you will have gone to what? File, and then what? Select what? Save. So there is no way you work that you will not open your previous what? Work. So I also what? Program it. There is no way you work that you will not ask for a new what? Workbook. There is no way you work that you will not make mistake that will lead to what? Undoing or what? Redoing. So these are some that you can have this. And at the same time, this is how you can customize your command on the standard what? Toolbar. Eh? What about what? Now watch out. Supposing there is any command that you want to program there, but it's not among this default list, you go to what? More command. So more command will bring you to a comprehensive session where you can view almost all the command. So let's say the one I want to program there is what? This table. So what I will simply do is just to select it and migrate it here. I've added it to the ones we have before coming to this environment. So maybe I want to also add page setup. I'll click and add it. So peradventure you have added anyone and you want to remove it. You click on it from here, look up, please pay attention, click on it here and use what? Remove icon to remove it. When you are done selecting, adding, you click on what? Okay. The moment you click OK, all those icons will be created here. That is why if you want to remove them, you cannot find them here. You have to go to that same place. So that is how you can add, and that is how you can what? Remove. Exactly. So take your time later to go through it. Now, look up. The essence of me programming this, because when I'm working here, I don't want to be coming to this top here because it's a long distance. I will need all these things when I'm doing something here. Why can't I bring them closer to that place? So I can change the location of this by clicking here and select what? Show what? Below ribbon. You can see it now. I have located it from the top to what? Very close to my worksheet. So if I want to take it back now, click on that same icon. Now it will now be what? Show what? Above what? Ribbon. Click OK. Click OK, yes. Show below ribbon. Then if you go back to that same place now, it will now what? Go back there. Go back there now. It will now be what? Show above what? Ribbon. So you can actually change it. Exactly. So that brings us to what? To the end of what? The second part. Application title bar and what? The standard what? Toolbar. Now, the next section I want to explain quickly is the tabs bar. That very section that constitutes your tabs. The tabs are like individual containers of commands. Functions are stored inside any of what? This selected what? Tabs. See them as command what? Storage. Please. See them as different rooms holding different what? Commands. So you can see that Microsoft Excel is very creative such that most of the basic formatting commands, they are under what? Home. The transformative functions, they are under what? Home. The one that changing the appearance of whatever you type, the color, the size. Are you seeing it now? So most of this, the alignment within the cell, they are in what? So the most used functions, they are under what? Home. I want to increase the size, you come here, you choose the size. You want to change the handwriting, you come here, you change the handwriting. That fit his face at all. You have forgotten that I've been talking since 9 o'clock. The Lord is my strength. My brother, don't mind them. Don't mind them. Don't mind them. I know what to do now. You know, I know why you are calling. I know how to get that rest. When we get to analysis now, by the time you come, I will have prepare what you do for 2 hours. Then I will know whether you say, sir, it's time. Okay, let's go there. Let's go there. So at least we have been able to identify what? Here and here, right? Now, and also, this is where I'm explaining now, the tab what? Bar. So the tab bar constitute different tabs. And I said, be seeing the tabs as what? Containers of what? Instructions. So at what point do I need this instruction? You can see that as I wanted to change this text color, I consulted one of the tabs. For this color, you know the funny part? There is no other tab where you can find this command that is under in home. They are not repeated. Everything you have under each of them are unique. So don't think that what's like this table now, there is another tab where you can access it. Never. So that is why when we start applying them, when we are using both, take note of the tab where we are using so that you don't, so that you know where to access it. Not just noticing the word, the function. Also notice what? Where it resides. Exactly. Now, each time you select any tab, you notice that what? The whole of display changes its content. So it is called tabs properties bar. See it now? Tabs what? Properties bar. In other words, this section displays the content of any selected tab. So what determines what you see here is on the what? The tab you click. So right now, if I'm addressing this, I will address them as what? Insert what? Insert properties. If I click on home, all these are what? Home what? Properties. If I click on formula, all these are what? Formula what? Properties. So you need to know that. So that place, the contents you see there, they are not fixed. It depends on what? The selected what? Tab. So the next one quickly is the formula bar. We are still, I hope you are listening there. Yes. The formula what? Bar. So the formula bar is divided into 2 sections. Look at it here, where you have this 7 and where you have this FS.
Sorry, I'm not clicking.
Click on what? I have touched all of them. Now take your time, you know, to play around them. I've left that place. Yes, now, are you with us? What I'm saying is that this tabs property bar display the content of any one you select. You know, when you open Microsoft Excel, it opens on home by default. So if you want to access a function under insert, you have to leave home and go to what? Insert. If you want to access a function under page layout, you go to what? Page layout. My focus right now is not to explain this function. It's just to familiarize us with this. When we start working, you will see when we'll be coming here based on the challenge we are facing, whether the solution is wrapped inside this one or is wrapped what? Inside this. Exactly. So now I'm explaining this section now, this space from here and here. The whole of this place I am navigating at is called formula bar. That is where I am now as the next section. So the formula bar is divided into two parts. The first part of the formula bar is the range or the argument section. We refer to that as what? Arguments. Are you with me? Argument. So what is argument? Which is represented with what? This 7. Argument means what? The current location of the active cell. The current location of the active cell. The current location of the active what? Cell. Are you with me? Now, we are coming to this session in a moment. This is called spreadsheets. Yes. This spreadsheet is so large. That is the reason why it's recommended for us to always hold our data for us and also enable us to access what? The functions for analyzing what? The data, which I call the library. Now, we have not less than, in fact, to be precise, we have 1,048,576 rows. All this one, there's been a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Before we get to the last one, you must have counted 1,048,576. So which means that out of that, we are seeing how many? 19. You are seeing this 19 because of your system screen size. If you use a big, like desktop computer now, you're going to maybe like 24. But out of that, where are you now? Which of them you are? Which row are you? You are in row 5. That is what this place is showing you now. Anywhere you select, we give you the update of which row you are. The number represents the row. Then the D, the alphabet represents the column. You are in what? Row 5, and in what? In column what? D. In my own case here now. Anything you see inside this place is what is updating you on what? The distance, where you are, the location. You don't need to stay where I am. Just click anywhere. You know where you are. So what is that place telling you? The location where you are. That's why I said what? The formula bar describes two things. The location where you are, and this place that is empty update you on the content inside that cell. Right now, I'm in what? D what? 5. And in D5, there is no value. It's empty. Once I start typing now, watch out. You see now, it's showing there. So this place will always show you the formula you use in computing what is inside what? D5, or what you type there directly. Before my timekeeper will come back now. Look up. Let's say you have what? 800 here. So that you can play with some of these things before the next class. And I want to, because I said it's for calculation, right? When I say what? For computation and calculation, right? Good. It means that if I'm asked to multiply these two values in my office, if I pick my phone like this, I've just informed them that what? I'm a novice of Excel. I don't know that Excel can do calculation. They are asking you, multiply this by this. The next thing you do, you pick your phone or calculator. You have just delivered yourself to fail. So what you do is that, where did they want you to put the answer? Let's say the answer should be what? Here, right? Start with equals to. That is the rule. We'll get to that in the next class. It's a rule that says that anytime you want to calculate, start with what? Anytime you want to enter function, start with what? Equals to or plus sign. Now, I will now trace the argument. Where is the 800? 800 is under what? J. And when you trace it to the row, is in what? Row 4. You see that Excel have captured it. That yes, you are correct. You are correct. Then they will call operator, which are calculation effect, what we use in joining the argument. Because DJ4 is an argument. And I said argument means what? The location. So that J4 is an argument that says what? A value is in what? Cell what? J4. Then I'll bring in my times. Shift and 8. That is how you get what? Multiplication sign, not your X here. Then I want to trace where 700 is. Where is 700? Still that's in what? J, right? But in different what? Row. That is what? Row 9. That's how we capture it. Now, once I hit enter now, the answer has been generated. Now, what is showing here now is not this value. But if I click here now, what is showing here? The direct value, because this was typed directly. This is direct entry. While this one is what? Is formula what? Entry. Calculated entry. Once you are seeing a formula, instead of what? Exactly. You know that what? It's a calculated what? Value. Exactly. Now, before I sign up, I asked them to give me 10 minutes. I've used 11 minutes. So I'm closing with this. We'll continue on Wednesday. We'll also continue on Friday until I push out what? Excel. Now, just for you to play around this, if I want to add these two values together, and I'm asked to put the answer here, so that you know what this FS stands for. That FS stands for function. Okay, insert what? Function. Once I click here, it will display already made inbuilt what? Function. What do I want to do? I want to sum, right? I'll select and click here. It will bring me a dialog box. I will capture the first argument, capture what is here, right? And then enter here, then capture what is here, and then click OK. Give me the answer. So I don't want to manually type those plus, whatever. So I call the function so that you know what this F is. You don't want to manually construct the function. You can invoke the function because I told us that what? The spreadsheet is functionally double. It's functioned as what? A data holder and also what? A library in a set that containing what? Functions. So you just, once you call this out, you keep picking. Once you call your argument, you go to the next box, make sure your cursor is blinking there, select the next value. So that is how you keep calling all the value. Yes, once you are done calling all the value, click OK to get your result. So we stop here before they will come. So stop here.
You have a flash drive. The videos are always ready, but I would not want to take flash drive because of a virus.
So far, which one?